Testing, testing, testing. Test, test.
Okay. All right, then, since we now have a quorum, Chief Milliken, would you please hold the Finance Committee meeting?
Okay, we'll call the Finance Committee meeting to order. We have one action item, and that's to approve the Finance Committee meeting minutes from August 24th, 2023.
Make a motion to approve?
Chief, you're gonna have to second it because we have.
Oh, second my own. All right. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye. Motion carries, and the Finance Committee meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, Chief. All right, well, then I will call the board meeting of the JWB to order and ask Judge Moore to please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, well, welcome, everyone. And I would like a special welcome to our two new board members. We're excited to welcome our two new board members, Kristen Nage and Melissa Rutledge. Kristen has served Pinellas County for the 11 years as the Assistant State Attorney for the 6th Judicial Circuit in Children's Welfare Legal Services Division, where she advocates for the state's interest in ensuring the safety of children involved in the dependency system. Kristen is passionate about children and calls her own three her greatest accomplishment. Melissa is a commercial real estate entrepreneur who specializes in off-market investments and developments, properties, and has community impact. She can be seen everywhere in the community, and I can attest to that, where she shines equally through her volunteer and philanthropic work. And she's a fourth generation and St. Petersburg native. Both have completed their board orientations and are anxious to contribute to the JWB's 75 plus years of investing in children and strengthening our community. Please join me in welcoming Kristen Nage and Melissa Rutherford to the board. All right, now it's my privilege that every 2 years there's a changing of the guards at the executive and board level. Oh, do the consent items first? Sure, okay. Does everyone have a chance or had a chance to review the consent items?
Move to approve.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, same sign. Consent items are approved. Okay, now we'll move on to the action items. The election of the board officers. Every 2 years, there is an election of new board officers, and at this time, we've asked Beth to poll us all individually and see and ask for anyone who might be interested in taking on those roles. Based on Beth's polls and the conversation amongst us all, I have a recommendation for you. For chairman, the Honorable Patricia Moore. For vice chairman, Chief Jim Milliken. And for secretary, State Attorney Bruce Bartlett. I open this for discussions. Do I have any discussions, any comments? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve?
I move approval.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion's approved. And FY24 committees. The Executive Committee. Per the bylaws, the 3 officers plus 1 at large for that Executive Committee. I was asked if I would join in and be the at-large member, and I would accept. So if there is the recommendation, do I have any comments?
I move approval of that recommendation.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. And then finally, Finance Committee. The Finance Committee would be made up of myself, Jim Milliken, Brian Ungs Jr., State Attorney Bruce Bartlett, and Commissioner Latvala. The newly appointed chair would place me as the executive officio. So the one last place, and I assume I'll leave this open for discussion. I guess first, no, do you have approval? Do I have a motion if there are no other comments, or a motion to
So
approve
moved.
the Finance Committee?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Now, we can either leave this to the Finance Committee, which is not until February, or the board has the right to choose the chair of the Finance Committee. I was asked, and I'd accept the chair of the Finance Committee upon your approval. Are there any comments or questions?
I move to make you the chair of the finance committee.
And I'll second it.
Okay, so it doesn't get, you don't get around any things. Okay, great. So a motion and a second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed, same sign. It's approved. Okay, well then finally, since social media has published this all around the world, for that matter, I'd like to congratulate Commissioner Latvala on his engagement. Congratulations.
Thank you. Just for clarification purposes, I got engaged, and this is a very important date. I got engaged on April 1st of this year. So
Social media's a little slow on
always
the
own
way.
April Fool's Day in my future household. Thank you, though.
You're welcome. Congratulations again. All right, then let's move on to the action item B, adopting the FY24 JWB regular board meeting schedule. Beth?
We have the board meeting schedule in your packet, labeled it as 4B. Generally, the meetings will be at 9 a.m. in the morning on the third Thursday of the month. That is different than what we have had before. There are two exceptions to that, October and December, for different reasons. They will continue to be on the second Thursday. And then there is no meeting in August, which is typical of our pattern before. But because these are public meetings, we do need you to actually approve these, and if there are any changes to them later, we would have to vote for those changes as well, as appropriate per our council over there.
Motion to approve?
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion's approved. Moving on to to ratify the Financial Committee recommendations. Diana?
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'll be presenting the action item today to ratify the Finance Committee recommendations. First, to provide some background, at the last board meeting on July 13th, the board took action to approve a proposed millage rate of 0.8250 and a preliminary budget totaling $157,953,165 for fiscal year '24. And in accordance with Florida statutes, that information, along with the date and time and place of our first trim hearing, was provided to the Pinellas County property appraiser by the August 1st deadline. On August 21st, the property appraiser mailed out the trim notices to all property owners, notifying them of our tentative public hearing, which will be held here tonight after the board meeting. So subsequent to that last board meeting, there have been some nominal changes that have been made to that preliminary budget, and those changes are detailed in an attachment to the memo that you have before you, and they total a $71,446 increase in revenue and a $77,749 increase in expenditures. And these changes have increased the total budget amount to $158,024,611. Those changes were approved by the Finance Committee on August 24th, and we're recommending ratification of that action.
Do I have any comments from the board? Do I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second?
Those opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Diana, you're going to up again.
Okay. So this next item is to approve the funding recommendations for the non-operating and capital projects requests for applications. There is $2.9 million allocated in the RFA for capital and technology line item of the fiscal year '24 preliminary budget. And although the board is taking action to award today, the contracts won't be executed until after the fiscal year '24 budget has been finalized. We budgeted more for this initiative in fiscal year '24 than we typically do to essentially cover 2 years, both fiscal year '23 and '24, because we had delayed putting out a solicitation out last year due to a similar funding opportunity that was available from Pinellas County with $17.9 million in ARPA funding. And we wanted our funded agencies to prioritize their applications for that funding and also to avoid potential for competing requests. So this is the 8th year that the board has provided funding for non-operating and capital projects for the nonprofit agencies that currently receive program funding from JWB. And we continue to see the project requests that are submitted that there is a high need for this type of funding in order to maintain aging facilities and keep up with ever-changing and evolving technology needs. We've received a lot of positive feedback from our funded agencies for your continued support in this regard. So this item is to allocate awards totaling $2,579,710 to the 33 projects that are outlined in the memo. One of the criteria is that applications must score 65 or above to be considered for funding. And with the higher budget this year, we were able to recommend funding for all projects that scored above 65. There were 3 that scored below 65 and as such are not being recommended. This year, Beth also served as one of our evaluation committee members, so either she or I are available if you have any questions or if you have any other comments.
Do I have any comments or questions? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve? Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion is approved. Moving on to item E, the approval release of the Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central, and I'll let you go the rest of the way.
It's definitely a mouthful.
Yeah.
So on your agenda, you're going to see Sarah Smith, but she is out today, so I am Laura Peel, Director of IT, and I will be filling in for her. So today we're here to seek the approval for the release of the Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central SaaS, which stands for Software as a Service, licensing, and the implementation services request for RFP. The purpose of the RFP is to solicit proposals from software vendors to issue licenses to JWB and implement the cloud-hosted Business Central system that will streamline JWB's business processes, put us in a better disaster recovery situation, and take advantage of newest technologies. So we are seeking to replace JWB's current on-premise solution, which is Great Plains, by October 1st of 2024. JWB has utilized Great Plains as its core financial solution for the last 20 years. Microsoft is ending support of that product in January of 28 under their typical fixed lifecycle policy. For some history, for our newer board members, an accounting and financial management agreement was awarded to Central Square Technologies in January of 2020. However, that vendor was not able to implement the solution, so the agreement was terminated and settled with Central Square in May of 2022 with a breach of contract. Upon contract termination, the team began conducting market research, but ultimately determined that it was in our best interest to engage the services of a consultant, so we brought in Cherry Beckert to review and provide recommendations on the prior accounting RFP, but more importantly, for them to identify potential cloud-based solutions and providers that would best fit JWB's needs. Based on those recommendations, staff conducted detailed meetings and demonstrations to access the recommended solution capabilities and the recommended solution capabilities and functionality. After seeing the functionality of the consultants, JWB staff determined that Business Central would be the best fit for 3 primary reasons. First, JWB uses Microsoft 365 as its main IT platform, and Business Central will integrate seamlessly with that. The solution is also cloud-based, so it is critical. This is a critical system for us to pay our agencies and our staff, so this will protect us better in a disaster recovery situation. And Business Central evolved from Great Plains, so it has the look and feel of our existing system, but offers a more modern and improved product and greater functionality. I'd also like to add there's a potential possibility for the proposers to include price discounts for current Great Plains customers, especially since Microsoft is ending product support. Market research indicated that finding the right implementation partner was critical through our consultation agreement and market research. And there's 3 vendors that we would like to send this out to. It's On Actuate, Warren Everett, and Carasoft Technology Corporations. These companies have extensive implementation experience due to their specialization in government clients and prior experience implementing this solution with similar sized government agencies. So within your board packet, you'll have the RFP, the timeline, the evaluation team details, and the evaluation criteria. So that's it. Does the board have any questions?
Any board questions? Getting off easy. The only, again, knowing of all the issues that you've gone through in the past, you're comfortable that these 3 potential companies were suitable, and that they are being used by other government services groups.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And our staff has already, met with all 3 of them and received the demos from them, so we feel very confident.
And how comfortable are you in going through this process, being able to implement by October of next year?
We feel confident. This solution, it's a Microsoft product. We already have Microsoft. We put out our timetable and it really seems to fit in. We have plenty of time to set up the accounts and transfer our data, and we'll have a period where we'll be using both systems towards this time actually next year, and then we anticipate going live 10/1.
Excellent. Any other questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve? Have a motion, do I have a second? Have a motion and a second, all in favor say aye. Those opposed, same sign, motion's approved. All right, Laura, now we're moving on to the approval of a sole source contract for web authors Flex Enterprise Data Systems.
Yep. Okay, so the second request, I'm here today to request the approval of a sole source contract with WebAuthor for their Flex Enterprise system for $225,000 for year 1, $282,000 annually for years 2 through 5, and the 5-year initial term totals $1.365 million. So as you've heard over the last couple of months during Beth's board reports, JWB has been having ongoing issues with our current provider data systems that provide a system for our agencies to enter all the participants, services, and outcomes, and the other system that our agencies use to do their budgets, budget amendments, reimbursements, and we pay them through that. So when these systems were procured, JWB was looking to move quickly from a legacy system and decided the best way to do that at the time was to look for a commercial off-the-shelf software system, better known as COTS. The COTS system, it alleviates extensive programming and customization is really not necessary. And at that time, we couldn't find one system that would accommodate all of our needs, so we ended up with 2 separate systems for participant management and the financial management. So this has proven to be a challenge for us. We're pretty unique with our processes being a Children's Service Council, and we had to create many workarounds outside the systems, including manual imports of budgets, and we had to create a third-party system just to store agency and program data generally. We also have experienced issues with attendance and reporting and have been at the mercy of the company to prioritize these issues, being that they have other customers and we weren't always the #1 priority. And many times we would ask for things and we were told, well, not enough customers want that, so it was put us on the, back of the list. We really felt like we weren't a priority. At times, the data entry stopped for periods of time. And, excuse me, I lost my place. In addition, the other issue was that these systems don't talk to each other. So they were two separate systems, and we really needed a system that worked together for that. So none of this has been efficient or benefits JWB. In fact, we had the process consultant, Civic Initiatives, to help us, who came in to help us with process improvements for our procurements and onboarding activities. And one of their main recommendations that you're going to hear about in the coming months was to consolidate systems, is that we had too many. So given this, JWB did quite a bit of research on systems that would really meet the unique needs of JWB and would eliminate the manual processes while condensing the number of systems. Staff began to focus on WebAuthor, who actually came in second several years ago when we did the procurement for participant management. WebAuthor's system, Flex Enterprise, is used by all the other CSCs in the state, with the exception of JWB and Hillsborough County. It's also used by many of the early learning coalitions and the United Ways, and it has a proven track record with raving reviews from the other CSCs. It provides one system where multiple modules can be built out and customized to meet JWB needs and match our procedures and requirements. Their system is a hybrid platform that includes modules such as finance and participant management that are highly customizable for each of the customers. The system also includes the ability to build out additional modules that can be built for nearly any purpose. For instance, automating procurement was another recommendation from Civic Initiatives, and this system actually includes a module for that that can easily be built out and customized to allow us to automate that very manual and intensive process. The platform is flexible and customizable to JWB and does not impact other customers that WebAuthor has, making JWB the real priority here. So based on the market research and the results of the last two procurements, we really did not feel that a COTS system was in the best interest for us, and it would meet our requirements. We really looked at it, it's more of a build versus buy decision at this point, and that's why we're not recommending going out, back out for another procurement. The Flex Enterprise system has a limited number of users and data. The additional modules I mentioned come at no additional cost. WebAuthor will work with JWB extensively through the implementation and teach JWB how to create the modules independently. JWB's software application support analyst would act as the project manager, the systems administrator, and lead the configuration of the modules. And as been mentioned in previous board meetings, we've promoted Shannon Phillips to this role, and she will be taking that on. And just as note, this is Kristen Curley standing next to her. You'll be seeing her in upcoming board meetings, taking Shannon's place there. So we're really excited about that. JWB is going to brand its version of the software as JWB Flex, like flex our muscles with data. We can be flexible with the way we get things, that kind of thing. So we're currently working with our communications team on this and plan to have promotional items, and we're going to have a dedicated Flex help desk. JWB has been working with WebAuthor over the last several months to negotiate a contract, which was extensively reviewed by staff, including Beth. She was on our team, and Colleen and their team. And we did have one last remaining piece, which they needed to increase their cyber liability insurance, which I heard shortly before this meeting they have done. So the contract is in order and ready to go, so we're excited about that. There's no separate implementation or setup fees for Flex Enterprise, which eliminates additional implementation costs that we've had to pay in the past. The first year is within the fiscal '24 JWB non-administration budget, and all subsequent years will be included in future budgets. JWB would begin work on the implementation during the upcoming fiscal year to prepare all modules to be live by 10/1/2024 or fiscal year '25. At that time, the current provider database contracts would be terminated, and Flex would be JWB's new system for all our needs with our providers. Any questions?
Any questions by anyone? I do say thank you for focusing again on the cybersecurity component of that and making sure that by them increasing their budget means that they're also going to be more focused on that issue. And as you all know, it's going to get worse. And it's an area of real concern, especially on a WebEx. environment. So with that, are there any, there's no other comments, do I have a motion to approve?
I was just going to say thank you
Yeah.
for the very thorough update, because that was really helpful to catch us up on where you've been and where you're going.
Of course, yes. It's been a process.
Okay, thank you for that. Are there any other comments? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve?
So move.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion approved. Thanks, Laura. All right, moving on to the presentations. Community outreach, the book bus, and back-to-school events. Karen?
Good afternoon. I'm Karen Bogus, Chief Program Officer, and I'm excited to be here today to introduce this presentation. We have 2 community units here at JWB that are dedicated and are our direct contact with the families, business leaders, providers, and residents in our community. And today they will be highlighting some of the projects and events that occurred all during the summer. Our community engagement unit is led by Yadidis Garcia and includes the work that's done with our community councils. We have North, Mid, and South. They include over 40 members, and we bring all of the appointed members to this board. And they not only represent their communities and are the voice and give us feedback, and also help us do outreach into the communities, such as the work that we're going to be doing with Turbo Babies and Grand Families, as well as you're going to see with the book bus from the summer. In addition, we have our community collaborations unit, which is led by Danielle Hintz. And this includes the work that is done with Grade Level Reading Campaign, our Fatherhood Initiative, Preventable Childhood Deaths, and our Hunger Initiative. And so I want to thank both of these teams, all of the JWB staff that participated in these events this summer, and the many volunteers that you're going to hear about, because it was super hot this summer, and they were out there quite a bit. And the work that they do is so critical and important. It helps us keep our community connected, engaged, and informed. And so without further ado, I'm going to, oh, I forgot to see the clicker. Hold on. Thank you. Without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Danielle Hintz to talk about the book bus.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I wanted to be with you today to talk to you about all the good work and all the exciting things that are happening this summer, or happened this summer, and it's really because of our serving as a backbone, but also so many dedicated community partners that we work with. This first slide, we were kind of showing you throughout our department, we really try to work not only within our department and across the community, but within with others at JWB. And you see some pictures depicting community council members and staff and a variety of people at some of the sites. Okay, so the last time we were here, this is, first of all, our largest Early Readers, Future Leaders grade level reading campaign project. So we serve as the backbone for this grade level reading campaign, and the summer book bus is really our biggest thing. We have had a partnership with Pinellas County Schools since 2016, and they visit all of their summer bridge or summer school sites throughout the summer, and then as a partner in our campaign, they give us the buses, 2 buses, and bus drivers for the remaining 3 weeks. So then we have an opportunity to work with partners and go further into the community. Let's see, last fall we provided a historical update for you. We've been doing this for several years, talked to you about all the good work that was done last year, and we kind of set a goal of reaching at least 5,000 kids throughout the summers, starting with this year. And to engage more public officials and to have more media coverage, and we've exceeded our goals. So we're coming back with the book bus. You see the book bus leaving, coming back with updates for this year. So this year you can see that we reached over 5,000 kids. Each child is able to go on the book bus and select any 2 books. So that resulted in over 10,000 books going to the homes of children, many who don't have books in their homes, and help build their library. We had tried to spread it across the county, so you'll see we had 70 sites and we had over 60 volunteers engaged. And second. So this little collage shows you a variety of pictures on the book bus, which has been retrofitted for those who are new, to be able to hold books beneath and then go to the different stops, pull the books back out based on the age of the children, and let the children board the book bus. We had a huge variety of sites this year, everything from early childhood centers to summer camps, parks, libraries, and some really other creative partners. Several of our partners from grade level reading pick up a stop, and we'll staff that stop and we'll plan it. So it really is something that we're doing together. And you'll see that, recognize some of the folks that are on the bus in the pictures probably, as well as we have a public official in there. And I want to thank Becca Gross-Teeter. I knew she was here earlier. She really reached out to our public officials as well as board members to try to engage the community. And you know, it has a multiple value to it. People can see what we're doing as an organization and supporting others, but also they can go on the book bus and really understand the impact that we're trying to make. So how does this all happen? Joanna Maniscalco is our JWB Community Collaborations Coordinator, one of the two, and she's done this effort for the past several years. And it's a major project, as you can imagine. And we have some great news coverage, and I'm about to show, if I can make it go, a video.
Meanwhile, the book bus is making its final stops in Pinellas County for the summer. It's been making stops at local schools, daycares, and kids clubs, allowing children to pick out 2 free books each. Tonight, ABC Action News reporter Stassi Olmos explains why the mission to get children to read is even more important this year.
I Will Suppose My Friend by Moo Will.
We're working on reading difficult names of authors, but this little genius, you can read that? That's big. Says he reads 12 chapter books a day.
Somehow I read 12 chapter books a day.
So he's especially happy today picking out brand new books for free aboard the Juvenile Welfare Board's book bus.
You got 2 books in your bag?
It is a partnership between Pinellas County Schools and JWB. It's part of our grade level reading campaign, and the kids get to go on the bus that you see behind me, and they get to pick 2 books that they get to keep forever.
The mission is to help curb summer slide, but this year there's an extra need to get books to children who just graduated 3rd grade, those that were in kindergarten when the pandemic hit.
Their last quarter of kindergarten, that's when they ended up going home, basically, and not really having much schooling for 9 weeks. And that really is when most of our kindergartners become readers.
While last year's grades in Florida won't be released until the fall, Lewis Elementary School principal says they've seen the rough numbers.
We definitely saw a decline in our 3rd grade this year, without a doubt.
On the book bus, children get to be picky.
Want to read this one? Yeah. Okay.
Until they find something they want to read.
Ooh, it's not hard.
If a child is to pick their own book, they're more likely to love it, enjoy it, and read it.
This book bus only runs in Pinellas County, but education leaders say every guardian or family member can help.
Read, read, read. No matter what your kids are reading, have them read. I mean, from cereal boxes to comic strips, it's that whole practice makes perfect.
Stassi Olmos, ABC Action News.
So thanks to our communications team and outreach, we had some really good coverage, and you probably saw some of that, a lot of social media posts around it. It's just one of the really feel-good and also contributory things that we do through our campaign. Next, I want to focus just a little bit on Kindergarten Counts. It's another effort that happens in the summer for the fall. And with the inception of the grade level reading campaign, our communications department created a beautiful Kindergarten Counts campaign, really focusing on both the parents and the child to help them understand the importance of attending school starting in kindergarten. You know, it's changed, kindergarten has changed, there's a lot of expectations, and we really need folks to understand that it really matters that their kids are in school every day, starting with kindergarten. So we had the materials developed. The bags include a coloring book that's really kind of instructive also to the parents, talk about having plans if something happens with transportation, getting ready for school the night before. So while the child is coloring the coloring book, there's some messaging for the parents. We also put in a parent pledge flyer that they pledge to get their child to school every day, and a magnet they can put on the fridge with a picture of their child that has a punch out of the school system calendar. So there's things in there that really engage the kids. The reason I have teens in this picture is because for several years, we've worked with the City of St. Pete Parks and Rec Department, their Tasco Teen Program, and they help us, this is our 8th year, stuffing all these bags. And let me make sure I'm going forward. All right, so we reach, all of our kindergartners are in the public schools, and so it's a total of 6,700 receive these bags. They are in Spanish for families who Spanish is their primary language. And we had 40 participants, you see them here, helping us in the summer, using some of their summertime to do this project. And I just really want to recognize this is how we get a lot of the work done with the campaign. This partner stuffing all of these bags is a huge contribution. They go back to the school system before school starts so the teachers can use them at open houses, and if not, the kids still take them home. And let me see if I have another slide. Oh. So those are the end of my slides. I just want to say this is, both of these projects are under our grade level reading campaign where we have 80+ partners engaged with the community. So I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Yarides Garcia, who's going to talk about the work that they've done with back to school events.
Thank you. Yarides Garcia, Community Engagement Manager, and it is my pleasure to give you a brief overview of the very busy back to school 2023. This year, we found out actually that Pinellas County is a big county, but it's very small. And providers, they talk to each other. And if we attend one community event, they make sure that they let us know. So we have to be very strategic about which events we want to cover because our unit is only 3 of us. And I want to recognize my staff. Joanne Rich, she is the community engagement advocate that covers North County. And Kelly Roy, she is the community engagement advocate that covers South County. This job would have been possible without their assistance. With the 3 of us, we were able to reach out 3,240 families. And we were able to attend 10 different events throughout Pinellas County. And I wanted you to show you some of the pictures. Not only are we providing back-to-school supplies, but we also providing resources that the families find very, very valuable. We bring information about our collective impact. One of them, our campaign. People love the campaign. We try to bring information about it, and they love to take pictures with the babies, and we have all the information both in English and Spanish, which is a plus. And at this particular event, we have so many people in attendance that at the end of the day, I couldn't even talk to people and just keep saying, go to the website, get more information, because it was a lot of in attendance. The picture in the middle, I want to highlight that the collaborations that we have through our community engagement unit was highlighted so much during the summer. The picture in the middle is in Coral Heights. Yes, we were out there in the field, 105 degrees, and we have community councils on a Saturday morning distributing book bags to 125 families in the Coral Heights community. Coral Heights community is an unincorporated community between City of Largo, and it's been one of the passion for the Mid-County Community Council to bring resources to that community. And with a collaboration with a church that is providing services there, Abundant Life, the City of Largo, even the City of Pinellas Park, they help us with 125 book bags. That's what we do. We reach communities and we bring resources when it's needed. Through the community events, we also have real-time feedback. Those are more some of the more pictures to highlight that we have fun, yes, but we also have a lot of bring information, like I said, about turbo babies in North, Mid, and South. I want to take some time to highlight the feedback, the real feedback that we get from our families. People stopping our tables, and they say thanks to JWB. And I'm going to share with you 4 of those stories. We understand that we need to have data. Quantitative data is very important, but I think we need also to include the qualitative data to have the whole picture, how is the impact that we're making in our community. That picture right there, she came to our table and so excited, she asked her son to take a picture with us. And she said, thanks to JWB, I was able to finish my bachelor's degree through our SPC scholarship. Now I have a better job. Another story is a mother with 2 children who has a special need. She recognized the logo and said, thank you to JWB. They were not able to talk, and they got all the intervention that they needed. Now my children are exceeding in school. Another 12 years old girl came to our table and said, I recognize the logo. Through you, we get free lunch at a Skyview Rec Center, and my family receive services in the Lelman Nation Neighborhood Family Center. And the last story is a mother of 3 children. She said, I have been touched by JWB from my first day of pregnancy through the Healthy Start Coalition, and now my children are getting services through the Y and R Club. This is the work that we do in the community, and I'm just amazed to see that the community, when it's needed, they come together, and we are making an impact. And to have this information, these stories, it shows the footprint of JWB in our community. Thank you.
Any comments from the board? I'd just like to say again, thank you to the staff for all the hard work that you've done, and it's proven as you see these, the pictures and especially the video. And Chris, I think we got a future politician coming on board. He could make you believe anything. So, well done. Thank you again. All right, let's move on then to the Chief Executive Officer's report.
I do not like following all those pictures of incredibly cute children and that appropriately sassy young man who thought he could read 12 books in a day. That sounds just like home, and then somehow the homework isn't even turned in, and I try to reconcile those two things. I want to give you an update on civic initiatives. JWB's process improvement consultant, Civic Initiatives, has almost completed their study of JWB policies, procedures, and workflows relative to procurement and contracting. And I want to extend a special thanks to all the JWB staff across departments who participated in this study, and to IT Director Laura Peel for leading the effort. You can expect that some of the next stages of implementation will include changes in or recommended changes in board policies as it affects procurement. There will be other changes that would be recommended relative to internal procurement policies, and then there's some others that are not written in policy anywhere, but just practice that could be improved. And so you'll probably see that at the October board meeting. But they found a lot of opportunities for skinnying down, that's not their technical term, but the process, removing some of the steps and making the time from the decision to acquire something, whether it's a contract with a program to do programmatic work, or it's a service like an IT service, or the things that go into bags like the Turbo Babies bags, that there are ways that we can make the time from beginning to the completion of the contract and delivery of the goods or the program faster, which I think is something that this board has asked for and wanted us to see. Turbo Babies pit crew bags are racing out the door. Yes, we use as many puns as possible with this. So here are some going out the door. Last month, JWB staff and volunteers helped pack more than 3,000 Turbo Babies bags. There you see them. These are pit crew brain building bags with the elements in the bags that you all have seen here at this board table. And here you see a combination of volunteers and staff putting together bags to provide to campaign partners for distribution to families of children birth to 3, alongside face-to-face education. So in a matter of weeks, the bags were packed, boxed, labeled, and picked up by a number of campaign partners, I think about a dozen of them. And those included partners who do home visiting, early learning, infant mental health, and parent support services. And plus, the interest and the requests were so great, we're in the process of starting the process again and filling more bags. This is all in addition to the 5,000 brain building bags that our strategic partner Evera Health will be distributing annually during well baby visits at their 7 pediatric offices. So we're really off to a very strong start in getting these bags out. And to piggyback off of Yadidas's comment that while we look at statistics and data, and we have and we will, it's also fun to listen to the individual comments, and there's just a lot of joy and, oh, wow, and can I have one of those, and that go along with the distribution of the bags and to all of the various families who ultimately receive them. The action will be, of course, that it's part of a broader campaign where parents and all of those who touch kids, whether it's grandparents or other caregivers, are just that much more aware of how children develop and ways that they, as parents or caregivers, can engage with their 0 to 3 kiddos in ways that help those kids grow and literally grow their brains during that time period where brain development is at its peak. So it's exciting, and it will continue to be even more exciting. Some upcoming events. Our staff, no rest for the weary. So you saw everything they did in the summer, and now they're planning. They're busy, and they're planning future events. The Focus Faith-Based Symposium on September 28th at Anona United Methodist Church will center on the role of that faith-based and social service communities play in a post-pandemic Pinellas County. Plus, resources we shared on topics such as domestic violence, behavioral health, and homelessness. The annual Out of School Time Conference, titled The Power of You, on September 29th. This will be a hybrid professional development conference for an estimated 600 JWB-funded agency out-of-school time staff. And these are staff who don't get a lot of professional development and don't get a lot of pats on the back, but they're responsible for our kids a number of hours every day. So the conference is focused on building skills to support their mental health, as well as the mental health of those for whom they care. On October 7th, the JWB Children's Mental Health Initiative will join New Vision Behavioral Health and other partners for the 5th Annual Mental Health Youth Empowerment Summit at Eckerd College. And the event will focus on engaging youth and families in conversations and activities for mental wellness, healthy family dynamics, and more. And then, as a reminder, we encourage, appreciate, sometimes beg, your attendance at our final trim hearing, which will be held on September 20th. The first trim hearing will be held today at 5:15. On the 20th, that will be at 5:15 p.m. here at JWB. That's all I have, unless there are questions.
Are there any questions for Beth? Seeing none, thank you, Beth. Then moving on to informational items. Does anyone have any comments or questions on any of those? Hearing none. Do we have any on the open agenda? We have no cards. Beth, would you like to address the anniversaries for July and August?
I would be happy to. Our July anniversaries include Carolyn Brink for 1 year, Jennifer Manick, 3 years, April Puchaloo, 9 years, Joanna Maniscalco, 15 years, Shannon Cohen Phillips, 17 years, and Daniel Hintz, 20 years. And I think I saw every one of those folks in a picture. They were either here or they were in a picture presenting over their summer works. So, August anniversaries, Jesse Strong, 1 year. Tawanda Jones, 1 year. Michael Havelka, 6 years. Joanne Rich, 6 years. Stephen Bailey, 7 years. And Dandria Dula, 9 years.
Again, then, as a reminder. And then again on September 20th will be the second trim hearing at 5:15. If there is no other business to be in front of the board, I will adjourn this meeting.